Buckle up, excellence junkies, because this podcast is definitely for you. Welcome to Rockafuel. Do you wish that you could surround yourself with people that love to kick ass just like you? Well, come to my party, baby, and meet some of the brightest stars in the entrepreneurial galaxy, because it is my mission to give these entrepreneurs a platform to declare what they are on this planet to accomplish and to show you why they are rocket fuel. And we're live. Oh, guys, I am so excited to bring you this teaser for this episode that I just recorded with Richard Wilmore, because he made his dream of being a talk show host a reality. And I'm talking about like something that he's dreamt about since he was 12 years old. And to be able to see that his show is it's going to be on TV, guys. I'm so excited. So I want to talk a little bit more about how your dream as a listener, if you are really thinking about, have you ever had those butterflies in your stomach thinking, wow, it would be amazing to be a host of a show? We're here to tell you that it can become a reality. And so Richard Wilmore, thank you so much. The star of the Richard Wilmore Show. Totally not his theme song, and I'm just like, whatever. But Richard, thank you so much for allowing me to interview and tell your story. But tell us a little bit, give us the teaser version of how this even became an idea and what inspired you.
Rosie O'Donnell in 1997 is where this
very
came from.
Specific.
Yes,
Bam.
I can tell you parts of the actual episode that I
really
saw.
do tell.
Yes, it was Scope had brought out a list of the least kissable celebrities, and her and Dan Rather were on the top of the list.
No.
And so, yes. And so she made it into a joke that she was the least kissable, partnered with Listerine. And for every guest that kissed her, they would donate like $1,000. And she raised like $100,000 for some charity, all because Scope named her the least kissable. And
that is amazing.
Yeah. And that's what kind of drew me to her. Anything she was just all for, and she still is all for helping people. That show was just about making everybody as happy as possible, and I knew that's what I wanted. So I started talking to nobody in my bedroom and pretending I had a talk show. And then in 2016, many years later, I started it. I finally built a set and started booking people to come hang out in my basement with me and started filming.
So you built the set in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
Were you handy? Is this something that, you typically, or did you like say, hey guys, I have friends that are going to build this for me? I mean, if I'm dreaming of this, like, do I need to have carpentry skills?
No, you need to know that you're going to learn a lot of things. This show has taught me that I just learn as I go. Apparently I'm not a planner. But I could also figure out most anything. Like if I needed to do it, I didn't have a crew. I didn't have any money. And so if it had to be done, I was the one that had to do it. Right.
Oh my goodness. And so did you kind of always have your vision of what your set would be, or was this like, oh, now I get to think about this? Like,
nope. I knew exactly what it was supposed to look like. I knew the colors. I knew what the logo would look like. I knew that it had to, like, the background here, like that it had to be bright. It had to be cheerful. And that it had to look like you were about to enter a party.
Nice. Yeah. And so what is your goal and tone of your show?
It's a morning variety show. So it's like an old school, your musical guests. I've had fire eaters on the show, actors, authors, anybody who's creating something that's cool, that I think is cool, is who I want to talk to. We cook sometimes, we do crafts, like anything fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what was really important, and I encourage you guys to really listen to our longer episode, because we talked about a lot of fun things. But what I do want to make sure to bring out is that you weren't envisioning being somebody else. You're just like, no, I want to bring joy, and I want to connect people to people that I think are cool and make me happy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wanted to be Rosie O'Donnell. That's who I wanted to be. But that never happened. So I thought, well, I guess I'll just be me.
But that's really important, because that's what has allowed you to sustain for so long and be happy, as you know, maybe you weren't getting a lot of views in the beginning, but you were kind of connected to your purpose. So tell us more about, like, the first time that you interviewed somebody or somebodies, right? Where did that go to? Like, where how did you share that video?
I interviewed a band who ended up being the makers of my theme song, and I brought I had an iPad, and I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll just bring this iPad. And I don't even know if I had a tripod. I may have just like set it up on a chair. I don't remember that. But no microphones, no nothing. None of this was in my head. I just thought, I want to talk to these people, and I was curious about their story. So I did that, and then it went on YouTube. And then every 5 seconds I would watch how many people. Did anybody like it? Are there any comments? How many views?
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. And like, how is it that you get and how is it that you get action? How do you get traffic to your shows?
So the people, what I found, like the huge YouTube stars and those people, they spend a lot of money to get 3 million views. Like, that takes a lot of money, and not everybody has that. You know, they spend a lot of time, and there's a lot of thought that goes into a video to make it look like they don't care.
Right.
So my goal for myself is to always put out a show that I'm proud of, no matter if it gets 1 million views or 20 views. And so I look sometimes, but I don't stress over it, because 1, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And 2, just make sure it's authentic and it's genuine and it's something you care about. And then the people who need to see it are going to see it.
Yeah.
That's what I think now.
Yeah. I think when you start really, worrying about those details, it's just a different level. Right. And for you, like, you do your show, and you also have a job, right? And what we talked about a little bit more in the longer episode is finally realizing that as you've gone through this journey of finally joining. So where's your show once you get back in the studio? Where is it going to be coming out of?
Broadcast. You can now turn on your TV and watch me on on Roku, on Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire, and then it's also on iTunes and Google Podcasts.
Nice. So, getting to this point, there's so much that you've learned in this process. And so we talked about your desire to just start helping people in realizing, their dream, and teaching them things that you wish you knew.
Yeah. I wish I would have had access to me in 2016 when I started my show. And probably even before that, I probably would have started it. It's always been a dream, but I finally just took the plunge. But had I known certain things that I know now, I probably would have started it sooner. But
right, exactly. Instead of it just being an idea and feeling like the logistics of it all is just too overwhelming. I mean, there's enough of a challenge just internally being like, okay, am I going to put myself out there, right? And then it's very easy to use the logistics as a reason to not. to not do it. So what's really, really cool is that you guys know that every one of our episodes has a catchword because our experts have so much to offer and I have so little time with them. But Richard actually put together this great guide on the 5 things I wish I knew before I premiered, which I looked at and I was like, I wish I knew these things, right? So if you have the little flutter in your stomach because you're like, I know I have a mission, right? Like there's something that I want to share. And remember, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I want to host a variety show or a podcast. It may be, I'm really good at translating the news. I'm really good at whatever the thing is, but there's something that's calling inside of you to share that, with others, then I recommend highly that you look at this great guide, the 5 things I wish I knew before I premiered. And you're going to do that by texting RF for rocket fuel -spotlight to 411321. If you're in the US, RF -spotlight is the catchword. And of course, if you are listening internationally, we have not forgotten about you. You could text to +1 909 741 1321. The message is RF -spotlight. If we ask you for your email address, that's because you're not in our system yet. Tisk, tisk, boo. But we ask you for your email address once and voila, you will get this handy dandy. If you're only listening, then you have no idea that I'm showing a wonderful PDF. But you will get that PDF in your email inbox instantly. And it's important that you take this desire. Like if you're inspired, do something about it. Please don't just, the first thing is listen to the longer episode, right? That's the first thing, but please don't let it sit because I honestly feel that sometimes those are the things that add to the invisible cloud in our lives. Right? Sometimes there's just like, you just feel like I'm not living life as bright. I'm not shining as bright as I should be. And I believe very often it's because we're not listening to our gut. What do you have to say about that, Richard?
Yeah. And I think if you're curious about something or you have a passion for something, someone else probably has that same question and probably has that same passion, and you can connect with so many people that you didn't even know were out there when you do what you really want to do.
Yeah.
Regardless of if you're making $0 or $50 million, like it's about life is like I think we've all learned this during the pandemic. Like it's all about connecting with other people and how much we've missed that. Well, some of us have. Some have loved being home alone, but like it doesn't matter if one person comments on your video and says they love it. Like you touched one person that you I don't know.
Yeah.
A show like mine saved my life. So I feel like, who knows who has watched my show, who hasn't reached out, but has benefited from it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really, really important that when you have that message, that tingling, that calling, right? Maybe it's not just for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for somebody else.
Yep.
I love that. Thank you so much, Richard. Richard Wilmore of the Richard Wilmore Show.
You have to do that too, I think.
I know. Yeah, you have to do the jazz hands and stuff. Yeah. And
when you come to San Antonio and you come on my show, I feel like we should get hula hoops, and that's how we should do it.
Oh, I got to work on my hip action then.
Well, we can practice.
Okay. I love it. Thank you so much, Richard. I really appreciate it. It's evident why you are rocket fuel for so many. And I wish you amazing luck as you ascend to be the next Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes. Thank you.
And for all of you guys listening, I hope that you have a rockin' day. Bye now. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, every one of our episodes is boosted by a value-packed keyword called a catchword. Yeah. This allows our audiences to text to receive even more value from our guests. So take advantage of that great value. And if you share your expertise by guesting on podcasts or TV or speaking in front of live or digital audiences, then you're leaving anonymous fans behind. So go get a catchword at catchwords.com, KETCH words.com, and use podcast20 as a promo code for 20% off your setup fee. Look, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the Rocket Fuel podcast so you never miss your jolt of rocket fuel. Until next time, adios.